Today we are here to kind of look at what are the basis on which a business loan is funded to a client. What are the parameters that lenders consider or banks consider while funding a business loan to an MSME. So to start with, it looks simple as these loans are unsecured, but a bank does a holistic assessment of the borrower, and there are multiple factors that are considered while evaluating a business loan. To start with, basically to look at what is the credit worthiness of the borrower. So banks typically look at, evaluate in terms of the factors like what is the credit score or the CIBIL score of the borrower, how good is the financial strength of the borrower, how good is the bank transactions of the borrower, how regular are they in their statutory payments, how good are they in terms of their GST payments. Today, with the GST era, GST has become one of the critical parameters for evaluating a business loan. So, how regular is the GST payment, or how regular in terms of not only filing but also in terms of the revenue generation? Is the business seasonal in nature, or is the business regular and very periodic? There are multiple parameters that we kind of look at. Most Indian businesses don't differentiate between the owner and the business. What is also very important to note is your business has a separate CIBIL score or a CRIF score, but the promoter or the partner or the directors have their own individual credit scores. So it is equally important that the business should also have a good credit score, as well as the promoters. Could be proprietor, could be a director, could be a partner. They also need to have their individual credit scores which are good. What it means is the promoter has to pay his credit cards regularly, the promoter has to pay his consumer durable loan regularly, the promoter has to pay his vehicle loans regularly. In case if he's borrowed any home loan, it has to be paid regularly. So it's not only about the business paying its commitments regularly, but it's also about the promoter paying his loans regularly. So when it comes to credit scores, it's a match between how good is the repayment at a personal level as well as at a business level. Another very critical parameter that is today used to evaluate is the past repayment history of the borrower. How good have they paid? This has become a huge parameter today with the coming of credit reports. So we have CIBIL, which is coming, which is one of the oldest. We have CRIF, which is now coming, and there are a couple more credit reports that have come in. And these credit reports today have become very critical parameters to evaluate whether a client can be funded, cannot be funded, or how much can a client be funded. So having a good repayment record and having a good CIBIL or CRIF report is as important today as running a successful business. So while you look at what is the kind of money that you can raise, there are multiple ways in which today lenders are looking at it. So there are lenders who are kind of looking funding to you basis financials, and there are lenders today who are offering sachet credit, which is typically loans below 10 lakhs where they don't really focus on the financials. So if your requirement of loan is less than 10 or less than 15 lakh, what is more important is your banking behavior. If your requirement of loan is above 15 lakhs, then what is important is how profitable is your business and how strong is the cash flows in the business, and also what is the kind of money that is being generated from if this loan gets into your business loan. So, and hence when you are borrowing, the rate, you need to be very conscious about the rate of interest, and you should be able to generate revenue from that money more than the rate of interest so that you will be able to service this loan. Another very critical parameter that lenders consider is what industry are you in. As most of you are aware, every industry goes through a cycle of hills and valleys. And what is important is the lender would look at it as how is your industry on the hill currently or is your industry on the valley currently. So to give you an example, you could look at in terms of in the current scenario, how good or bad is the government policies on your business, how good or bad is the local environment in your business, how good or bad is the competition in your business, is the competition physical or digital, How do you have new age startups competing with you? Or is it a business where you have a monopoly? Or is it a business where you have created a brand and the brand is outshining? So you typically look at it's a holistic stuff that is looked at in terms of what is the kind of business are you doing, which industry are you related into, and what is the current performance of the industry as a whole and not only yours. Another very, very important factors that the lenders look at it is how seasoned are you in this business? Are you somebody who's just starting a business, or are you somebody who's been running multiple businesses, or are you somebody who's run a business for a very long time? Normally, if it's a sachet loan where your requirement is below 10 lakhs, and a lender would look at least you have done about 12 months in business. You have done one business cycle in business. So what is required is your business needs to be at least 12 months loan. If you are looking at loan beyond 10 lakhs, then a lender expects you to either be 3 years old in the business or 5 years old in the business. If your business is beyond 5 years old, it's considered to be a very, very seasoned business, and that business can raise today loans beyond 100 lakhs as well. So please bear in mind the seasoning of your business and the investment that you spend on your business also plays very, very vital role. Now when we look at the financials, what the banker would look at is they would typically look at what is the kind of money that is being generated by the business. So how strong is the balance sheet of the business, how good is the profitability of the business, how good is the ability that the business has shown in terms of repayment of loans, and what is the kind of money will this business generate if the loan gets into the system. So if you are borrowing the loan at 18%, does your company have the ability to generate more than 18% of income from this money to ensure you are able to service? So if you are in a business where your margin is 4 or 5%, and if you tend to borrow a loan which is at 18%, your business might not be in a position to repay this loan. Very, very important factor to also bear in mind is business loans are unsecured in nature. So you don't have to part away with any kind of property as collateral, or you don't have to part away with any kind of machinery as collateral, or you don't have to part away with any kind of fixed deposit or any kind of security. So these loans are primarily funded basis the balance sheet strength of the client, basis the banking. How do you operate in your bank? How good is your banking? How regular are your credits? What is the kind of balances that you have maintained in your bank account? How good is the traction in your bank account? What percentage of your business gets routed through your bank account? How well have you maintained your bank account? How regular are you in your GST payments? How regular are you in terms of having a systematic filing of the GST? How uniform is your business in terms of is your turnover, month-on-month turnover regular, or is your month-on-month turnover irregular? So these are typically factors that are considered, and the loans are not backed with any kind of collateral. What also needs to be kept in mind, since these loans are unsecured in nature, the personal guarantee of the promoters are for sure. So whether you are a proprietor or a partner or a director, you are required to provide your personal guarantee. So if it's a partnership, majority of the partners are required to provide personal guarantee. If it's a director, if it's a private limited company, majority of the shareholders are required to provide their personal guarantee, and it's very important. There are very, very few lenders who are comfortable to fund without personal guarantee. So as a whole, when you look at business loan, there are multiple factors basis which a lender funds. So it is very important you understand what is your requirement. Is your requirement sub 10 lakh, or is your requirement more than 10 lakh? Do you want to take the loan from one lender, or do you want to take the loan from multiple lenders? And basis that you can reach out to your right loan agent to ensure he helps you raise the money that you require. That's it for today. Thank you. Hope this video gives you some insight on what are the factors that are important to evaluate on how much or how a business loan is funded to you. Thank you.